Even though we use our hands and feet in fundamentally different ways, their biomechanical form and function is essentially the same, and redeveloping your hands around their rotational axes is just as important. One notable difference is that there are no widespread repetitive activities for the hands like walking, so it's more difficult for most people to incorporate redevelopment of the hands into their daily activities. So I thought I'd start today by describing some of the direct and indirect benefits of deconstructing and redeveloping your hands and feet at the same time, as a way to convince you to do it. Recall that the rotational axis of the hand runs from just below the outer wrist crease to the inside tip of the thumb. Like the foot, a medial or inward roll across the rotational axis represents the basic motion of the hand, though the opposable thumb does allow for easy lateral counter-rotation, introducing spin as an additional dimension in the use of the hands. When held appropriately, tools essentially embody the rotational axis. The most direct benefits of redeveloping your hand around the rotational axis take the form of enhanced control, including improved speed, precision, strength, and efficiency in tool use. These improvements soon show up in unexpected ways. Your typing improves. Your teeth feel cleaner after you brush them. These changes only hint at the dramatic improvements in proprioception, the subconscious sense of position, motion, and equilibrium that result with the optimal alignment of the bones of your hands and feet. Another important benefit of fully developing and using the rotational axes of the hands is in optimally aligning the upper body and load-bearing activities, like when you push against something or support the weight of your body on the ground. Rolling the hands into position around the rotational axes, which are placed directly under the shoulder joint parallel to the midline of the body, strengthens your grip and aligns your arms, shoulders, and backbones and muscles for the most efficient application of force. While the benefits of this approach to positioning and placing your hands and feet will become clear over the course of the program, I'll be the first to admit that they're not entirely intuitive. I wouldn't have discovered it myself if it wasn't for the final, overarching benefit of simultaneous development: parallel learning. The hands and feet are different enough that redevelopment may advance at a faster pace for one or the other at any stage in the program, but the reverse may be true at any other stage. Yet they're similar enough that learnings from one can be translated to the other in short order. With that, let me turn to deconstruction exercises for the hands, starting with segment separation. The hand version of segment separation is very similar to its counterpart for the feet. Begin on the floor with the hand you're massaging flat on the ground. Choose a position that lets you apply pressure to the flat hand with the opposite hand. For each finger, start at the tip and roll each segment against the ground using the index and middle fingers of the opposite hand, slowly working your way back towards your wrist, making sure to pause at each segment and focus on the joint. Every joint and segment should be gently but intently worked daily to break up scar tissue and restore and extend range of motion, keeping the optimal form and function in mind to avoid injury. The next exercise is called wrist rolls. It involves positioning, placing, and moving your hands against each other to create symmetric pressure around the rotational axis of each hand. Think of it as isometric deconstruction. Start by placing both hands in front of you, with palms facing in home position. Initiate contact at the fingertips, and then roll your hands together so they touch from the base of the pinky to just under the wrist crease, and your four fingers tense slightly towards your thumb. Rotate both hands across their respective rotational axes, starting at the wrist by bringing the base of the thumbs together and twisting them against each other until the heads of the first metacarpals make contact. Complete the rotation through the transverse arch by making contact at the base of the ring, middle, and index fingers sequentially, before finally rotating your thumbs into position against each other. Be sure to maintain contact with your fingertips and keep your fingers slightly arched. Once your palms make contact, you're in position. Now roll your hands against each other, first in one direction and then in the other, gently exploring and expanding your range of motion. Keep going until you feel some discomfort. That's it for deconstruction exercises. Be sure to leave a comment or send a message if you want more detailed information about the program or any of these exercises.